Hi guys and gals, Froggy here. I set up a tripod. I think this worked pretty good last time I did it, so this is something that I can show you that's all in one place. Let me just look and make sure I've got everything in frame there. Yeah, that looks good. What I'm going to show you is using epoxy today, two-part epoxy. I've got several different kinds here. This is a plastic epoxy. It's formulated to work well, obviously, on many different kinds of plastic. This is a metal-to-metal epoxy, multi-metal it says, and this one is a kind of a universal epoxy. It comes in a, it's like dough. It's almost like kids' Play-Doh or clay. And what you do with this one, it's two parts, an inside tube and an outside tube, and when they're mixed together in your hands, there's a chemical reaction that happens. All epoxies, you have to mix two parts together, a chemical reaction happens, and it hardens. What I want to do today is, this is a clutch pedal stop off a BMW that I made myself. And the pedal, when I push it down, it slips by because these are not lined up perfectly. From the factory, the way they built it, it's not lined up perfectly. The factory bump stop is a little bigger, so what I'm going to do is make this one bigger just by epoxying a flat washer onto it. And I thought it'd be a good thing to show you guys. So we're not going to use that. We're not going to use those. What you need when you use epoxy is something to mix it on. I just use a piece of wood usually. You could mix it on metal, but it gets sticky and it's hard to clean up. So if I use wood, I just throw the wood away after I leave it. You can see I've mixed several different kinds of epoxy on here. Just an old piece of wood. So I'm going to open this one up. It's been used before. It's got a separate seal for each side. And then you squeeze out as much as you think you're going to use onto the wood. This is getting old, so it's a little hard to squeeze. Let me see if I can get a little more muscle into it. There we go. Now that's not enough, but I'm going to turn the camera off for a second so I can maybe cut these down and get a little bit more out. For some reason, the plungers are getting a little stuck, a little fussy when they get down to the bottom of their travel. So what I do is I just cut the ends off. So I should be able to get the last of it out there. It looks like it's still good. It's soft. And what I'm going to do is just take equal amounts. I won't be able to seal this up, obviously, so I'm going to use it all up. Equal amounts out of the end. There's one side. Here's the other side. And then I'm going to mix it. That looks like about equal, maybe a little bit more. It's not super critical that you get exactly 50% of each one, but there. So more than one way to skin a cat. There's always something you can come up with. Now mixing this up. This is, I put the label away. Some epoxy works faster than others. You can have like 1 minute or 5 minutes. Usually the ones that take a little bit longer to set up might possibly be a little stronger when they're finally set up. So now I'm going to spread it on both parts that I want to epoxy together. And I'm going to wrap this right around there because, as I told you, this is a clutch pedal bump stop. So when somebody puts their foot down hard on the clutch, which you might occasionally in an emergency or if you're racing or something, not on the street, racing on a track, then that's good coverage. Then there's a lot of pressure on it. So, see if I get that to stand up. So if there's a lot of pressure on it, you want a strong bond. So now I'll take the other part. I'm sure you're going to get some of this on my fingers, but it'll clean off okay. I don't think it's especially dangerous to have epoxy on your fingers. There, that's the other part. And I'm going to put them together. Like that. And I want some to come up through there. Let me get a paper towel. So this is metal to metal epoxy. I'm going to spread some more on the top there. I want to not get any on the threads, because this has to thread in to part of the car, so I didn't get any on the threads. But I want to get some on the top of this washer, like that. So now I've got some on the top. It goes through the hole in the middle of the washer, right? And it's on the other side. Now, if that stays, I hope it'll stay stuck. I'm going to finish off with building up some more on this bottom side. Then I'm going to center it. Well, see, it's sliding a little bit. That's okay. I just keep rotating it so it goes back. Alright, that's about as good as I'm going to get. I'm going to center it, and then I might... Oh, I think that's going to be pretty strong. I just want to get this centered, and then I'm just going to let it set up. It should... You know, I'm going to let it set up for an hour or so, so I'm not going to keep you guys on camera for an hour. There. 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 Now, I get a little bit on the threads, but I'm not threading it in up to that far on the threads. I'm only threading it in up to about there. So I think that's about it. Let me center a little more. Press it down flat, like that. Yeah. It's hard to tell when it's centered. Maybe if I spin it a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. Just a little more over like that. And a little more. There. Okay. I like that. Okay. That's it. I'm going to just put it over here. See if you can still see that. Now you can file this afterwards. You see I got a little edge there. I'm not worried about that. I can file that with a metal file. And now I'm just gonna let it dry there. And take one last look at it. Yeah, it looks centered. I'm going to clean off my screwdriver because I don't want to leave that mess there, because I'm going to use this to drive screws. While it's still soft, you can get it on there, and then, you know, if a little bit gets stuck on there, again, you can take a file and clean that off with a file. Now the rest of this I'm going to throw away because I can't seal it up anymore, and I'll buy myself a new one to keep around the shop. And that's about it. I'm going to put this back in the car, adjust it for my pedal throw, and that's how you use two-part epoxy. Just as easy as that. You can do plastic, you can do all kinds of materials. When I go to the hardware store, I'll pick up some more metal to metal, and then maybe 1/3 kind that'll be for, you know, what other materials I might need to glue together. We call it glue together or epoxy it together. So I hope this helped you out. If you learned something from this, give me a thumbs up. You want to see more from Froggy, just subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. Froggy out. Just want to follow up with one thing. When I went to clean this up, it was already getting dry. See? That's just a little bit tacky. So an important thing you want to do here is plan the job, because you don't have a lot of time. If you change your mind in the middle of the job, this is just going to dry up. It won't be any good. So it's already getting tacky. This is probably the 5-minute stuff. This one says sets in 7 minutes, plastic epoxy. So plan the job out. That's important. Okay? See you later. Bye-bye.